Billionaire CEO wanted to test his new wife's true feelings, so he deliberately rented a tricycle to pick her up for moving. Before the girl could speak, the CEO carried her onto the tricycle. After arriving at the destination, the CEO said his company had gone bankrupt and they would only be able to live in this old house from now on. The girl mistakenly thought the CEO had sold his previous mansion to marry her. It turned out they had been high school classmates, and the girl had had a crush on the man for many years. Knowing the man came from a wealthy family while she was just an ordinary girl, the huge gap in their status had made her afraid to confess, so she could only silently like him. Unexpectedly, years after graduating, the two met again by accident. The CEO recognized her as his high school classmate at first sight, but that night, the CEO was schemed against by a calculating woman. Because the girl was worried about his health, she hurriedly followed him. Unexpectedly, the CEO directly pulled her into the room, and the two spent the night together under the influence of alcohol. However, the man's friend found out that the girl's foster father was seriously ill and urgently needed a sum of money for surgery. He was convinced the girl had only approached the CEO for money, but the man hung up the phone and went alone to the hospital where the girl's foster father was staying. At that moment, the girl was extremely helpless. The medical expenses for her foster father were $800,000, and she couldn't raise enough money even after calling all her friends. She could only sit on the ground and cry silently. Just then, the CEO appeared in front of her. He proposed a deal to the girl. If she married him, he would cover her foster father's medical expenses. After some inner struggle, the girl finally agreed. When the girl followed the CEO into the old house, the CEO thought she would dislike the house, but the girl felt extremely guilty, believing the man had moved into such a small house because of her father's medical bills. She decided to work hard to earn money and repay her husband. The CEO was astonished to find the girl didn't look down on his bankruptcy at all, but he thought she was pretending. It wasn't until he opened the girl's design book and saw his own portrait that the CEO understood his wife's feelings for him.